the number one killer of dreams, relationships, finances, you name it. And it's responsible for any overwhelm, stress, OCD, addiction, headaches, physiological symptoms, depression, anxiety, and so on. And there's everything you can do about it. I'm a psychotherapist, psychologist, coach. My name's Poppy. I've worked for 30 years globally with all different kinds of people, and I work for you. I'm unaffiliated. There's a 1.0 to life and a 2.0. Take what you want, leave what you don't. And we're not taught about this in schools, which is why it's not your fault. We're not taught how to navigate the human condition. We're pretty much like babies shoved into life on our own. And then, pop a 5 if this is true for you, you take it personally when you struggle, when you have issues with people, and so on. You gaslight you. There's something wrong with you, or why is everybody else doing it fine? Or and then you scroll and have a look at what other people aren't going through. We're not courageous in our culture. We lie. By omission, how are you? I'm fine. We're very manipulative people in my assessment. And what I mean by that is we manipulate ourselves like a pretzel to fit in. And we're very stacked and triggered and worried about stuff. So if you consider yourself, anything you're upset about throughout the day, you get annoyed, you're triggered. And triggers are really important that we understand why we get triggered, because we can shift it. Like with anything, emotions and triggers, you'll always have them. What you do with them will dictate whether or not you have a good life or not. There's greatness in all of us if you think about what you have overcome in your life so far. Do you respect you for that? I mean, that's a question here, is how much confidence do you feel you have? How much do you feel you respect you? How are your boundaries? What's okay? What's not okay? And then having the courage to speak into the boundaries so that they land for other people. So other people can understand how to be with you so that it can be a good exchange, not constant conflict and confrontation, which we shy from. If we don't have boundaries with ourselves, i.e. you say, yeah, this week I'm not going to scroll after 10 o'clock. I'm going to, get up half an hour earlier and something. Are you likely to do that? Can you trust you to follow through on the things you say are important? And if you can't, you have very few boundaries, because boundaries are there for us first and not other people. So what a lot of people do is, as I said, a boundary, which is a wall, by the way, is a passive-aggressive, too late down the track attempt to tell someone no. So because we lack confidence, which I imagine you do, and boundaries, which I imagine you do, because again, culture doesn't teach us any of this stuff. It sets you up to have issues and then, what's wrong with them? We're tribal beings and we haven't had a map, a plan, or a guide to deal with the important issues in life. So please, if you're judging you, be careful with that, because you've been set up. Particularly men, the number one killer, suicide, in my opinion, is because we don't have an education for thriving and communicating. We're emotionally crippled. So have a think. Do you judge you? Do you gaslight you? You question, why are you feeling that way and so on. You're having a response to life and then you pacify it and judge it. And you feel even more alone. So you deal with things alone and then you go to the doctor and get a flipping drug and think you're done with it. The 2.0 to life is understanding that you are in control of it. What we're thinking, feeling, and doing with our behaviour needs to be aligned if we want that happiness drug that's long-term, which is authenticity. What we're thinking, feeling, and doing gets to be aligned. And when it's not, you won't like you. Confidence goes down. So we get to understand boundaries and why you get triggered and how the triggers are the guides. And equally to understand that anything that goes on in here most of the time is fear. and judgment. We need the ego, however, it's out of control for most people. So when we talk about mental health, the majority of people on planet Earth are mentally unwell. If you think about, measuring how happy you are all day long, how upset you get, how in control you feel, we're overwhelmed with too much uncertainty in our world. Too much unknown. True or true? So much that's unpredictable, and certainty, like the uncertainty, is the human need, a fundamental one. So when we don't have enough certainty, things that we can predict, we feel dysregulated, overwhelmed, and so on. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, that will be why. You don't have enough certainty. You're too in your head. You're not following your heart, your higher self, the 2.0 of everyone's life is here. Wisdom. Check in with you. How am I feeling? What do I need? 2 seconds, you'll get the answer. And if it's after 2 seconds, you're in your head judging long-winded sentences, whereas this is very simple, very short, very kind. There's no emotion attached to wisdom and higher self, the 2.0 in life. We're not all stacked and triggered. The only time this will be a louder voice, it will still be simple, go, get out, this is not for you, and so on. It's the red flags that we don't listen to. It's always 30 years, 3 decades with people. Everything always fundamentally at the bottom, the baseline of what brings people into therapy, apart from the fact they don't feel worthy of feeling happy. We feel we won't be loved. So we contort ourselves to be something else. The fundamental thing is we've turned a blind eye to the red flags. You stay in the 1.0 of life. So there's a pay what you can program that I've done. It's excellent. It was £300 a few days ago, and what I've said is we all need to have this information to thrive. So take it with my love. It's called Thrive Boundaries Mastery. Pay what you feel it's worth. Pay what you feel you can. Have it and use it immediately so that you can be safe. If we don't know this stuff, we're not emotionally safe. If we don't understand that anger is a positive emotion, it's what we do with it that's a problem, we're not safe. We're avoidant and we dismiss. We have no confidence and no self-respect, which means nobody else will respect you. So I'm sending my love. If you like to do live work, come join as a subscriber, or twice a week I'm live with The Awakening. So if you go to the top here where Linktree is, all the products and services are there. Thrive Boundaries Mastery is the one you're looking for if you've got issues with confidence and so on. However, sometimes it helps to be coached. So reach out if you'd like to do that too. Big love.